Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I've had some technical difficulties. I don't know what the issue is, but my microphone is just not working. It's not getting recognized on my computer. I tried plugging it in to like my laptop and some other things, and for some odd reason, it just does not work anymore. So I think I'm gonna have to buy a new microphone, unless something changed. But somehow between Thursday and today, my microphone is completely busted, which is incredibly annoying. But it is what it is. I know it doesn't sound nearly as good as usual. I'll have to talk louder than normal because I'm just using my OBS Bots microphone, which is somehow better than the microphone in my headphones. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I had a pretty good weekend. It was the first weekend I really felt like I was getting back on my feet again after some craziness that was going on. I was able to get like a lot of chores and a lot of random stuff done just to kind of feel like a human again, which is nice. But yeah, I finally, this is the first ever time I've backed a Kickstarter. So today's news segment is actually just going to be me going over Neon Odyssey. I'm super excited about this. We have the playtest here. You get access to this for free. If you go to the Kickstarter, you can download and look at this yourself. So I'm just going to be going over like some of the basics. I'm going to be doing a full length video that I believe will drop not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, going over this way more in detail about a lot of the other stuff that they seem to be doing. But today, I just thought I would quickly kind of skim over it and kind of go over some stuff. We could check out news articles on like IGN and some other things, and then I was going to get into Project Zomboid. There has not been a ton of like gaming and nerdy like news stuff going on that I was able to see. Um, but I also have been messing around for an hour trying to figure out why my microphone decided to not work anymore. So yeah, sorry about the audio issues, but we're gonna make do with what we got. So for anybody that does not know, Neon Odyssey is a new Dungeons and Dragons. It's like supplemental content. It is not a completely brand new system, and it is made by the same people that you've probably seen them if you're in dungeons, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons and stuff in any capacity. But it is the Legends of Avantris. One of my favorite online, no, I'm not one of, they are my favorite online Dungeons and Dragons like creators or tabletop RPGs. But this is their most recent project that is now available to be supported on Kickstarter. Um, this is the only thing I've ever backed on Kickstarter, so I guess that's another reason I'm talking about it so much, because I made a couple of posts on the main channel about it as well. But this style, everything that you see in this cover page here is my shit. Like, I love everything about this aesthetic. So this to me is the most hype thing right now. I did not know until I made that post Sunday that this had a playtest. So I'm still reading it over, and I want to run this so bad. I'm going to also take a look at. I can't remember what they're called, but it's essentially like the free license to play, like an open gaming license. I think that's what they're called. I'm going to look in to see if they'll have anything for that for this as well. However, all that being said, this is everywhere online right now because people are excited about it. But it doesn't look like the full version's actually going to come out until 2027. So that's a bit of a bummer. I don't want to think about that too much because that's literally a year. I think it was like November of 2027. So a year and like 4 months. Right? June, July, August, September, October, November. No, 6 months. So yes, I hopefully when it comes to the online content, they will bring it out early. They said that they may, if possible, release like the PDFs and stuff a little early, but they said it was like a definite maybe, or like I wouldn't get your hopes up, but eh, anything's possible, right? Um, but they do have this playtest, which has some classes and some other things. I'm so excited to go over this. With all that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get going. So, the first thing is basically the welcome. There's nothing really to cover here. It's basically just the what is this, along with like the thank you for checking it out. Right off the rip, from like first impressions of, because I've already read through this once. Um, this is Dungeons and Dragons, fifth edition. Pretty much. If you've played fifth edition, when you read this, other than some name changes, you're going to be able to pick up pretty quickly. Not everything is identical, and I'm a big fan of what they changed. Uh, but yeah, so we will go through it. I think I'm just getting a little bit excited. Hey, welcome, Austin. No Tyson tonight. He was busy tonight. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first thing that they're advertising, which is the Tracer class. Now, the Tracer is their version of a Ranger, um, which most people, when they think of Rangers in Dungeons and Dragons, they don't think that great. It's kind of memed on for being one of the worst classes in the game. But I think, especially with like some of the flavor and the flair that they've thrown on it, I think the Ranger could be really cool. And it's the only class that we got two subclasses from. So we're just going to get into it. So right off the rip, you notice that your hit points is a D10. Your saving throws are strength and dexterity. And then for your skill proficiencies, they are the same as Dungeons and Dragons. So your skill proficiencies are animal handling, athletics, history, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and or survival. You don't get all of them. You have to pick. So when it comes to the fundamentals, like even just reading the skill proficiencies, if you have played 5th edition and you understand the basics, you are going to be able to pick this up incredibly easy. There are some features, and I'm assuming it's because of the playtest, there are some features that even say refer to 5th edition core book, which you will see later on. So the lore of the Tracer is basically that when the galaxy came into being, primordial power exploded, and these people have a knack for tracking that. Basically, it is one of the ways that they are tracking and keeping a hold on things. So the Tracer seems very much like the Hunter. Their class features are, well, I guess we can go over here. So a lot of the name changes. So we've got Hunter's Eye, which is a rename for your favorite enemy. The way that favorite enemies worked in 5th edition is that if you had a favorite enemy, say I picked humanoids, right, because I was an urban bounty hunter kind of thing, you would get bonuses when it comes to tracking, finding, some combat, but not really. That's kind of what a lot of the complaints were about in 5th edition. But essentially, it is what your hunter specializes in hunting. For spellcasters, they're half casters, so by the time you hit level 20, you're only getting, I think it's 5th level spells. So the spellcasting is the same. All of the spells even have the same name, so it's not even that difficult to find. It does say subject to change with some of the material. I'm guessing that's going to be adding more of that like flavor context and changing the names of spells to fit more of the sci-fi opera theme. We've got fighting style, which is the same. This one says renames the druidic warrior option to primal hunter. So more references that you just kind of have to look up in 5th edition. I actually am not familiar with those in particular. Adaptive Edge is a rename for Deft Explorer. I also believe that on the next page after this one, they go through and explain what all these are. Omnitraversal is renaming of Roving, which, if I remember correctly, means that you don't get disadvantage in certain rough terrains. There's Outlast, which is a rename of Tireless. The Hunter's Ferocity. It's a new level 13 feature that makes your Hunter's Mark spell unbreakable in the short term. So essentially, it can't, be taken off of an enemy since the hunter's mark is kind of the core of the character. We've got cloaking, which pretty self-explanatory what cloaking is going to be. Lock on, which is the rename of the precise hunter. Instinctive scan, which replaces feral sense, and then inescapable hunt. It's a new level 20 feature that they'll go into detail a little bit more later. That replaces faux hunter and ensures that tracking is always successful. Which the funny thing is the level 20 abilities for the hunter was something that was memed on pretty hard. Because it's like, oh, I'm guaranteed to be able to track something. Sounds cool in like lore, but practically how often it actually comes up in campaigns, if you ever make it to a level 20 campaign, is kind of funny when you consider like wizards get wish and shit like that. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. When it comes to starting as the character and multi-classing, it's pretty similar. It's essentially if you start with it, you get all the stuff. If you multi-class into it, you get weapon proficiencies. The amount of levels that you go into it have a certain amount of like hit dice, like this was the D10. But you don't get everything as if you started off with the tracing or ranger, I should say. So it looks like yes here. So by the time you hit level 20, since you're a half caster, you only get level 5 spells. But this also breaks down everything that you get at every level and your proficiency bonuses, just like how it works in 5th edition. So I won't go into this too much, specifically because we don't know what a lot of these are when it comes to the context of this book. But as you can see, it still holds the standard layout of the level progression of 5th edition. Your proficiency bonus goes up on the same increments that they go up in Dungeons & Dragons, and you gain like feats, ability score improvements, and everything like that. Also the same. So yeah, we will go ahead and make it to the special features of the hunter. So I will read through these as quickly as I can and give rough breakdowns. I don't really know how in depth you guys want to go. I know we have like a few people watching here on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how in depth you want me to go on this. I read through this over the weekend. I read it a little bit Saturday, and I read through the whole thing once Sunday. So I'm still not an expert. I haven't went into like the meat and potatoes of every single thing. However, I do know quite a bit because I'm very excited about this. And my familiarity with D&D because I run a live show gave me a bit of an advantage of figuring out what this is. But we're going to zoom in so you guys can read it as well and also see how bad I am at reading. So level 1, you get Hunter's Eye. You always have the Hunter's Mark spell prepared. For anybody that has played Dungeons and Dragons and has played a Ranger, you know that if it was not for Hunter's Mark, Rangers honestly wouldn't really have anything. I'm not trying to be mean. I love Rangers. It was my first ever Dungeons and Dragons class that I ever played in my first ever campaign, which was Strahd. And I loved it, and I had a lot of fun with it. But if you're looking for like meta or good characters, the Ranger doesn't really fit that. So I'm really hoping that they're able to turn that around in Neon Odyssey. But you always have Hunter's Mark prepared, no matter what else you have actually prepared. You can cast it twice without expending spell slots. I think that's incredible. I do not remember that being a 5th edition thing, unless that was like a subclass that they added much later that I'm just not familiar with. But just being able to cast it without expending a spell slot is a huge boost to Rangers because it's like, okay, I've got 3, depending on what level you are, 4 spell slots before the next long rest, and every encounter I'm going to have to use one of them on Hunter's Mark. This is great. That is already such a big improvement. And enough to bump the Ranger up like a tier in my book, almost. Because that's kind of just free damage, almost. And realistically, how many separate combats are you getting into per long rest? It really just depends on kind of your DM, I think. And you regain all expended uses of this ability when you finish a long rest. The number of times you can cast the spell without a spell slot increases when you reach certain tracer levels, as shown in the Hunter's Eye column of the tracer features table, which is what is above. And honestly, I am curious what that is. So we have got the Hunter's Eye, and then so the oh, it actually I didn't even notice this the first time uh, I went over this. But so for right next to prepared spells, you're actually the Hunter's Eye. So it looks like by the time you hit level 20, you have 6. Uh, so that's wild. It also looks like Jacob and Austin have joined, so we're gonna pop over to them really quick and get them in on this. So let's go on that. Oh, hello, can you guys hear me? Nice. Welcome. People on the stream can't hear you right now, but
Are
they can now.
is
They can now.
are your mic settings correct?
Yes, the first like 2 minutes of the stream was me. My microphone like shit the bed. I don't know why. Um, so I'm using my OBS microphone, my OBS bot, my webcam, which is somehow better than my headphones. But yes, my really good microphone will not work on any device that I try and get it to work into. It won't even work standalone in my audio mixer. So something's wrong with it. I do not know.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
It's not an expensive microphone. I think I'm only out like $60, so it's not the end of the world. It's just very annoying, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just going over Neon Odyssey, um, the tabletop RPG that I think I'm the most excited I've ever been for. Um, but yeah, so I don't know how much you guys have already heard, but
I was passively tuning in. You were talking about how the Hunter's Mark is like renamed and like it's very fifth edition if you read between the lines.
I mean, this is literally advertised as a supplement to Fifth Edition, so it is officially a extension of Fifth Edition.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. But I was just talking about the Hunter's Mark. The Hunter's Mark in this edition, you get to cast it for free twice between long rests, so it doesn't take up your spell slots as a ranger, which is huge.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Up next at level 1, you get Weapon Mastery, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can use really any weapon, and the weapons I'm so excited for when we get to the weapons towards the bottom. But your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery properties of 2 kinds of weapons of your choice, uh, which mastery I think is its own thing now on top of proficiency, because as the tracer you get proficiency with basic and martial weapons, I believe. Yeah, simple and martial weapons, which is everything. I don't remember the first time I read through this going over what exactly expertise is for a weapon, but I'm assuming it works like if you like have expertise in like a skill where they just double your proficiency bonus.
Uh, actually works a little differently. So with
Oh, you actually know.
5.5 edition, they added some like maneuvers and stuff.
That's
So
right.
like
I forgot about that.
yeah, so the weapon proficiency usually gives you a maneuver. So like, if it's like a rapier, then you get to like I think do additional damage. Scimitar, I know you get to make like an additional attack. So it's
The
like
Nick.
yeah. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
Nick and Vex. Or no, I'm sorry. It gives you like the next time you use it, you get advantage kind of thing. So like Matt Mercer was taking advantage of that as having like an offhand dagger
Oh,
and
okay.
doing a rogue. So he do like rapier attack, hit, Vex, and then sneak attack with dagger.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Um, So yeah, the kinds of weapons your choice with the proficiency, such as laser rifle or quick blades. Which the funny thing is if you're reading through this for the first time, you kind of understand that it's like sci-fi, like opera. But the first time you see quick blades and laser rifles, you're like, okay, this is fantastic. Um, Whenever you finish a long rest, you can change the kinds of weapons that you have that expertise in. So it doesn't just lock you into those 2 weapons forever, which I think is another really, really cool thing. At level 2, you get Adaptive Edge. Your primal affinity for detail and adaptation grants you the following benefits: Expertise, choose one of your skills, proficiencies, and double it. I think if you've played D&D in any capacity, you're familiar with Expertise, especially if you're a fan of rogues. And you get 2 additional languages. You also get a fighting style at level 2. You gain a fighting style feat of your choice instead of choosing from one of the feats. You can choose from the options below, and it has Primal Hunter. You learn 2 Primal Hunter cantrips of your choice. See the Primal Hunter's class section. Guidance and Starry Wisp are recommended. I I don't know what Starry Wisp is. I'll tell you that much. Um, that's got to be one of the newer cantrips that I'm just
Makes
not familiar with. The chosen cantrips count as tracer spells for your modifier, Wisdom. And whenever you gain a tracer level, you can replace one of the cantrips with another cantrip. That's pretty standard. At level 3, you get a subclass, which we will be able to go over to. But so I'm just going to kind of skip them because obviously we're going to figure out what those are once we go to the next page. Level 4, you get the ability score improvement or a feat. Level 5, you get an extra attack. So here's where it kind of gets a little bit more streamlined. Once you get the meat and potatoes out, it's all just an evolution of that. Omni Travel is one of the newer ones, but old Rangers still similarly have something like this. Terrain no longer bars the path like in your way. Your speed increases by 10 while you aren't wearing heavy armor, and you also have a climb speed and a swim speed equal to your speed rather than halved. So essentially, you can just move way better. The big thing about Rangers, and I don't know, you guys play a lot of D&D. Arguably, you play a lot more D&D than me. The Rangers feel very underwhelming because so much of their stuff depends on the DM actually caring about those things.
I would also
Like
say that
the terrain.
Yeah, the
I
terrain,
would
the tracking, the hunting, the survival. It's the overworld stuff that a lot of DMs kind of just gloss over for the story.
yeah. I would also say though that like if you really know what you're doing, you can get a lot out of early ranger because you can do like favored foe and
Mm,
hunter's mark and like,
yeah.
you know, throw what was it, rain of arrows or something like that. Like you can stack
Mm,
some stuff in ways that early other characters can't. But I do feel like Ranger, by and large, doesn't scale very well because a lot of the
no.
upper level bonuses, it's like, oh man, like if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a like glacier area, then you've got like double movement speed. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Right. Well, level 6 here is normally when it just trails off like crazy. Like the fall of the ranger starting at level 6 is very quick.
Yeah.
Um, at level 9, you get more expertise, which I think is good. I don't remember rangers getting that much expertise unless there was a specific subclass that I think gave you it. So it's nice to just see that in the base kit. At level 10, Outlast, this one was interesting. You can draw upon your primordial connection to the hunt to shake off injury and fatigue to keep going. You get temporary hit points as a magic action. You can give yourself a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. So this is kind of like their version of Second Wind as a fighter. Or not Second Wind. Second Wind's the one that gives you the other action. What's the one that heals you as a fighter? Do you guys remember?
No, so if you heal, it is second wind.
Oh, okay. So I was right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's action surge as the extra action.
That's the one that gives you the extra action. So yeah, this is essentially a version of Second Wind for Rangers, which I think is also good. It incentivizes you to make Rangers outside of I have a bow. You can use this action a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, which is also great.
Yeah, I love it when you can get advantages from the spell casting stat.
100% agree. Um, Also, for the Outlast, something that they get is that you recover from exhaustion from short rests instead of just long rests by one.
Okay.
So, exhaustion seems to play a bigger role in this world. I already have so many ideas for a campaign on this. I
Ooh.
guys, I can't even tell you. I've already written like three fucking campaigns for this shit, and I don't even have the core book. I'm stoked. I'm so excited. Um, some stuff that I have down the pipeline. I don't know if you guys would be down for a live play D&D podcast, but fuck, I'm all in.
That
Um,
sounds great.
Yeah, I'd be
so
down.
level 13, you get Hunter's Ferocity. When you mark your prey, there is no escape. When you cast Hunter's Mark, you can modify the spell so it doesn't require concentration, which excellent, fantastic, 10 out of 10 move. Um, the spell duration becomes 1 minute for that casting, and it ends early if you cast Hunter's Mark again. Um, Something that I was hoping to see, but it doesn't seem. Actually, this might be in the base game, and I just haven't played a ranger in a long time. If I'm fighting a group of like 3 people, and I cast Hunter's Mark on one of them, and I defeat
Yeah.
that enemy, can I pass it to another enemy for free?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
standard.
That is
I think
standard.
that's
Okay,
part of the spell description.
okay, cool. I couldn't remember. I remember that being a thing for Hex for like Warlocks because I play a lot of Warlocks, but I couldn't remember Hunter's Mark. So that's good. Um, we've got level 14, which is cloaking. As a cosmic hunter, you can magically hide yourself in your surroundings. As a bonus action, you can give yourself the invisible condition until the end of your turn. That's cool. This almost makes me think the strat for Ranger is to multi-class with Rogue, whatever their Rogue is going to be. Yeah, and then once again, you can use this feature the number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier. So that's good. I once again like stealth, and I I don't know. Maybe I'm just becoming more of like a jaded asshole. But so many things in these books because I was getting into Pathfinder there for a little bit. You gotta find a DM that really gives a shit. That's what's
Yeah.
kind of a bummer because it's all well and good that I'm making this tracer character. If your DM is the type of person where combat is just rolling dice and adding up numbers, this cloaking thing's never gonna matter. But if you get a DM that actually cares and throws in some enemies that can detect based on like certain attribute whatever, then you can do really cool things with this. So that's level 14. Level 17 is Lockhart. Your chosen quarry, Quarry. I don't know why that tripped me up. Stands out sharply to your senses. You have advantage on attack rolls against the creature currently marked with your Hunter's Mark. Now, by the time you're hitting level 17, you're probably not thinking about multi-classing, but once again, it feels like if you multi-class this with like stealth attack damage, you could just rip through enemies. You guys got any comments?
I mean,
Okay, cool. I guess. Level 18, Instinctive Scan. You constantly scan your surroundings and process the tiniest details. This grants you blind sight with a range of 30 feet, which that's awesome. If you can make it to level 18, you can be Daredevil.
nice.
Level 19, you get your Epic Boon. You gain an Epic Boon feat. And then it just says refer to D&D Beyond's basic rules. Or another feat of your choice for which you qualify. Boon of Dimensional Travel is recommended. I did not pull up the basic D&D rule set. I figured that'd be getting a little bit too lost in the weeds to look up every single little thing.
I think we can infer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it might be summed up in the name there. And then finally, your level 20 is Inescapable Hunt. Your primal connection pushes your hunter's instincts to its apex, granting you the following benefits. Amplified Instinct. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can cast Hunter's Mark on it as part of the attack and can ignore the spell's normal range. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until a long rest. That is a little underwhelming to me. 120 feet, 60 feet, somewhere in there.
So like, you could apply it if you hit it with like a super long range attack, I guess.
Which, once we get to weapons, they've got some sniper rifles in there, which is awesome.
Tyler,
Yeah,
Shell
what's up?
wanted to join in the conversation, but I guess
Oh yeah, for
she
sure.
doesn't have the ability to join outright. I tried to invite her, but I guess
Yeah,
she
I
can't
got
do
it. Yep, move to here. All right, we got the full board of directors here.
Eventually, that'll be annoying enough to Tyler that he'll actually fix it.
That's true. That's true. So
No,
this
it's
one,
fine. I don't mind being second class citizen.
it's because you're a girl, really.
Yeah,
I guess.
obviously.
So yeah, the amplified instinct. We haven't got to Apex Predator yet, but the Hunter's Mark on an attack roll, I like how it sounds, but it seems very underwhelming. Because the only situation I can think of is if you are specifically a ranger that uses like that sniper, you can start a fight with a sniper shot and a hunter's mark instead of it being in like the initiative order. But I don't see where that's like a, oh my gosh, this like the whole combat is flipped on its head. You know?
Yeah.
And then we've got Apex Predator. When you use your Hunter's Ferocity feature, instead of making the spell's duration a minute, you can make it permanent. The spell now ends immediately if the target dies or if you cast Hunter's Mark again. Once again, hang on, how harsh? How many combats in D&D last over a minute?
That's a tough question. I think that
because that's
at
10
least
turns.
in our recent campaigns, they've been pretty brief.
Yeah.
And like I think that's more because our party was really large. And so if you have a small party, I imagine you get a lot more use out of things that last a while because turns like a turn or 6 seconds or whatever is a lot shorter when you've got a party of 4 versus a party of 7.
That's true, but that's also a DM scaling thing. Like you got to be able to appropriately scale stuff. But yeah, so the level 20, honestly, still a little underwhelming overall. There are both things around Hunter's Mark that don't really give the hunter that like, ooh, man, I'm sure.
Does level 20 get you a next level spell slot?
No. I think it gives you one more. Yeah, no, it doesn't. You go from 2 fifth level spells to 2 fifth level spells. Half caster because it goes to 5th level spells.
Okay.
I think I can't remember. Is that how many spells you get, or how far you get in the spell tree?
So it says level 5 at the top. So yeah, it's
right.
a 5th level spell.
Yeah, I think it's a half caster then. Because paladins are quarter casters. I don't even remember how many are quarter casters. I think that's like subclasses.
I didn't know that was a term. Based on that, would you multi-class instead of taking level 20?
I think I would multi-class unless there was an epic boon that I just had to have. If I was just like
20, you get your epic boon at level 19.
Well, that's what I'm. Well, that's the if I get into the full explanation here, if I'm building out a level 20 character and I want to be primarily a ranger, unless there's an epic boon that I know will just absolutely eviscerate or brings the whole character to like that next level, I think I'm making it to level 17 as the ranger and then multi-classing from there.
You don't want that blind sight?
No, there's not very many instances that I think that would be useful, and there's ways to get around it if I multi-class into like a spellcaster, and there are feats that get around that as well. if I really wanted that blind sight.
So
Oh, that's true. That's true. Multi-class and like monk or something. But yeah, I think I would say either 17 because I do like the gaining advantage on hunt. You're basically just you have advantage forever. So I like that. So I would say start multi-classing at 17 if you like having advantage the whole time, or 14 if you want to make it to like the stealth cap of it, I guess. But what about you guys? Would you take the ranger to level 20?
No, probably not. Although the epic boon, missing out on the epic boon is pretty devastating. I'd probably just do level 1 and something that's like got a lot of good level 1 perks.
Yeah. Yeah.
depends on the
That's true.
campaign setting because so few get that high unless it's like
Yeah.
a really part of the goals. I think if we started later, and it's one of those like a ranger. If we're like, oh, we're starting at level 14, that could be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. When I plan out a character, I normally plan out the character as if I'm going to make it to level 14. Because if you're doing like a campaign book, that's generally about where you end up at the end. If not a little lower, depending on the book.
Sometimes it'll tell you, it'll have the range on the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it depends. I guess if you're homebrewing, that might just be ad hoc.
That's true. That's true. I've seen homebrew campaigns where you go above level 20.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a homebrew game that I did where we built level 25 characters, where you could do 20 in one character and then 5 in another. You couldn't go above level 20 in like ranger or whatever class you were, but it essentially gave you like you were crazy strong, and you were like every fight was like Tiamat or the Balrog. It was just a crazy epic, like a Dark Souls boss gauntlet. It's like, but it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Anything else about the base rangers before we get into the subclasses?
Does it completely? I'm guessing it completely replaces all the base ranger stuff. It seems like it does because it has like extra attack and stuff.
But also, just the
Yeah.
art style of this is so cool.
He kind of has a Metroid arm.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into our first subclass, which if Jacob, if there's going to be a subclass that you pick, it's gonna be this one. Because this is essentially Iron Man. This is the power tech subclass. You bond with armor to become the ultimate hunter. So power techs channel their tracer magic through technology to create enhanced suits of armor into their armory. They incorporate swappable weapons and gear to become, basically just Iron Man. Like if you look at that picture, that's basically what you're doing. Like it's awesome. So here are the
based on any of the archetype classes, or just completely original?
Well, that's kind of I think what we're figuring out. And the funny thing is I don't know a ton about hunters because I don't play them super often. So when you reach certain levels, you get built-in spells. With this one, you get magic missile, sea invisibility, fireball, stone skin, and wall of force. You get power tech tools, which in base 5th edition, you can get like a cartographer's kit, a thieving kit, a brewer's kit. You get power tech tools with this subclass. Now, something that I think is really cool is once you get to some of the descriptions of the items later, it will tell you what some of these tool sets will actually be able to do as like small examples, not the only thing that it can do. But in this class, you get armor training, which means you can use heavy armor. I think that's interesting because that contradicts the base level up of Omnitrap. So you're basically losing your level 6 advantage unless something later on gives you, like, even though you're wearing heavy armor, you ignore that shit. Like, I don't know. But then, what I think is cool about this is that you actually get custom armor. So at level 3, you get the Hunter's Armor. So as a magic action, while you have your tech tools in your hand, you can turn your suit of armor into essentially one of these secondary abilities. So as a bonus action, right, or as a magic action, I should say. So it might take your whole turn. But depending on the situation, this could be huge. Like you are literally adapting to combat on the fly. So the first one is fast armoring. You can don and doff the armor as a utilize action. The armor can't be removed against your will, so that shit is glued onto you. Incorporate gear. You can create and install one of the following pieces of adventuring gear into your armor. You ignore its weight, and you can take the utilize action with it as a bonus action. So there you go. Like ascension gun, bypass tool, climbing kit, etc.
Makes me think of Warforged.
It does. It does kind of make you think of Warforged. Yep, the gear can be removed, but you can change the selection after you finish a short or long rest. So, if your armor normally has a strength requirement, the hunter's armor lacks. Hang on, sorry, I read that all kinds of messed up. If the armor normally has a strength requirement, the hunter's armor. Yeah, the hunter's armor lacks this requirement. Okay, I was reading that backwards in my head. Basically, you take the strength requirement off. So that kind of encourages min-maxing. Because heavy armor requires 13 strength, but now you can use it at 10. So that's cool. That almost makes you want to just go heavy into Constitution. Because you're still not going to get your dex towards your AC.
Yeah, that was kind of like this build kind of leans towards not dex. Although
Yeah.
they kind of make it so that you could potentially like swap like in the situation between like a dex armor versus a heavy armor.
Now, I know that this is something that you'll like, Jacob. They actually added strength-based range weapons.
Oh, nice.
So one of them is a hand cannon. So
Right.
it is a strength-based gun that has the ability, or not ability, but the tag on it of brace. Your strength has to be high enough to brace for the recoil of the weapon. And it scales with your strength modifier. I love it, because that's one of the main reasons I almost exclusively make dex characters. So yeah, if your armor, cool, we got through that, and then spellcasting focus. You can use the hunter's armor as your spellcasting focus. That's cool too. Even though the spellcasting focus is probably the most ignored thing in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, if you're playing the correct way, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Still at level 3, we got more to go over. Your armor contains a pulse cannon weapon system, granting the following benefits. You get an arm cannon, much like the picture. While wearing the armor, you can activate or deactivate the pulse cannon whenever you can draw or stow a weapon. While activated, the gauntlet and forearm of one of the armor's arms transforms into the cannon. Your hand is inside the cannon, cannot hold or manipulate other objects. So yes, it's very much you get a Samus cannon.
Nice.
While the cannon is active, you can fire it as a bonus action, which that's cool. I like that a lot. That you could almost do like a sword in one hand and a cannon in the other. So you could be up on. That could be cool. Especially if you can find a way to get rid of the disadvantage at close range. That could be a fun, like, aesthetic of a character, you know?
Yeah.
The cannon is a martial range weapon with a normal range of 100 feet and a long range of up to 300 feet. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 force damage and can activate the push or sap mastery property. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. Oh, okay. So you can't do it every single turn. You can use it as with your wisdom modifier. Okay, that makes it not as broken as I thought it was going to be.
And sap is one of those weapon proficiencies we were talking about.
Right, which I'm trying to remember what that one does. Because it doesn't
It
Heal.
imposes disadvantage, doesn't it?
Cool. Cool. I am not super familiar with the weapon. For our live show and the way that we play, we haven't really gotten into the weapon properties yet, even though I think it's one of the best things that 5.5 added.
It's really well implemented in the Baldur's Gate 3 game.
Okay.
Like the way
Cool.
the mechanics are in that, it's like it's so well integrated.
Nice. I still have never made it out of Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3.
Me too.
Man, it's so like daunting to me. Like every time I get really excited and I want to try it and I want to play it, I get like 3 hours in and then my mind is just like, you're never going to finish this. You should just stop playing forever. And I do. Because I just have that disconnect in my brain where I just can't. If I can't finish something, I might as well not even start it.
Well, that's not how that works.
Yeah. So integrate weapon using the mechanic. Oh, yeah. What's up?
What's the to hit for the cannon?
I would assume it's your D10. I mean, it's going to be your D20 plus. It didn't say Dex or Strength, did it?
Or wisdom?
Yeah. I don't know. We might get into it here. Integrate weapon. Using mechanics tools, when you finish a short or long rest, you can integrate or remove a ranged weapon into the armor, causing the weapon to vanish. The weapon reappears in the armor's space when it is removed or when the armor is no longer your hunter's armor. Hang on. Am I dumb? You can have one weapon integrated into the armor at a time, and you can't drop the integrated weapon while the cannon is active. Oh, so you're like, my integrated weapon when I turn into my suit of armor is a sword in the cannon, or it's a blank in the cannon. So you always have another weapon with your cannon, and it can't be taken from you. That's pretty cool.
There's
So it's
many...
like one hand is the cannon, the other hand is some kind of melee weapon or something.
Me
right?
personally, I would make it shoot.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's so many things that are referencing cannot be disarmed here because it's like, is that going to be a big mechanic in the setting?
I mean, either that or that's just this character's focus. But all right, level 7, Mark II armor. Gear expansion. It's like a domain expansion in Jujutsu Kaisen. You create and install one of the following pieces of adventuring gear into your armor, ignoring its weight. Flamethrower, that's the first option. Refuels when you take a long rest. High-powered communicator. A night vision goggles. And the gear can't be removed from the armor, but you can change the selection when you finish a short or long rest. The gear vanishes if the armor stops being your hunter's armor. Flight jets, you build a flight system into your armor as a bonus action while wearing your hunter's armor. You gain a fly speed equal to your speed for 1 minute, or until you remove the armor. You can use this as a bonus action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier.
Very cool.
Here's the thing.
Benefits for having high wisdom.
Yes, it seems like I want to actually multi-class 7 levels into this ranger with something else. You know what I mean? Well, for the suit of armor, like you could build some kind of martial character and go 7 levels into ranger, and now suddenly you are a badass martial character in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
You know? Which I'm not sure what their fighter is going to end up being. But depending on what you want to do, this could be amazing. At level 11, you get Power Cycler. You add power reserves to your hunter's armor that you can activate when needed, granting the following benefits. Capacitor Spike. When you roll initiative, if you have fewer than 2 uses remaining of the arm cannon, you regain uses until you have 2. Okay, so you're guaranteed to have at least 2 per fight. That's pretty cool. Or Stim Jolt. When you fail a saving throw, you can take a reaction to succeed on the saving throw instead. Once you use this benefit, you can't do it again until a short or long rest. So that's just a once thing for probably like the session. And then at level 15, you get Mark III armor. So it's just all armor. This character, it's all armor, nothing but armor stuff. You make the final
Mark
upgrade.
3 is a reference to Iron Man for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Overcharged pulse
Or
on a
Samus.
hit. Yeah, I'm getting Samus vibes for sure.
Samus? Samus? I don't know.
Yeah, either way.
Samus?
I'm not going to get
Samus?
too upset about it. On a hit, your pulse cannon now deals 2d8 force damage, and you can activate the topple mastery property. Okay?
Assuming that means you can trip them. What was the
Yeah, knock them
push
prone.
and sap?
For the other one, yeah. And then reinforced plating. Your hunter's armor provides the M component when you cast stone skin. Okay. So it counts as the materials. That's funny that you would cast stone skin over a suit of armor.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
You can modify it so it doesn't require concentration. If you do so, the spell's duration becomes 1 minute for the casting, and you gain resistance to radiant damage for the duration.
I think they're doing it that way because of it's flavor for reinforcing, so it's less like, all power to shields kind of thing.
That's true.
But it's trying to do it in a way that's using established mechanics.
Yeah.
So stone skin stacks with the other stuff.
That's true. So that is the end of the power tech subclass.
Wait, is stone skin different than what I'm used to?
What are you used to?
Bark skin?
I thought maybe I was thinking of bark skin. I thought stone skin was an AC thing.
It is,
but it says
I believe.
that it gives you resistance to physical damage.
Stone skin, I think where bark skin doesn't, stone skin does give you resistances to damages.
Right. So it does make sense to be able to use that with your armor.
Yes, for the resistances, I would think mostly. Because it also doesn't say specifically what your AC is. I think it just makes it to where you can wear any armor under the power suit and use that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess this gives you the option to use heavy armor, but it doesn't necessarily encourage you to wear heavy armor. I still think your best option would be medium armor.
I don't see any direct benefit to Dex other than that level 8 benefit of the what was it? Bonus movement speed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So you don't lose that. Okay, up next we have the Cryptic subclass. This section presents a preview subclass for the Cryptist. It is a Neon Odyssey reimagined Warlock to playtest it. So this is the version of the Warlock that we're getting. It seems like we're... So like the Tracer. We got the base Tracer and a subclass. It doesn't look like we got the base of the Warlock. So I guess there's going to be more Warlock things that we don't know about right now, but we can mess around with this subclass.
Do you just like base it off of the Warlock if you're playtesting it? Like, how do you playtest it without the core Warlock?
I'm guessing that.
Yeah, well, so Warlock is kind of like, at least OG, you're a Warlock, but then you decide more specifics at like level 3.
Yeah, a Warlock
right.
basically is just subclasses.
It says right there in the first paragraph, I'm realizing now, to playtest it right away, use these subclass features with the Warlock class. There it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just got to use...
If you had just read.
Yes.
I don't... Listen. It takes me a very long time to read.
Warlocks are a class that I play quite a bit. I mostly make charisma-based characters, so I'm a big fan of your paladins, your warlocks, your sorcerers, your bards. Those are all my favorite to play. I'm a huge fan of charisma. I think it is the most broken stat in 5th edition, and I have not found a good argument as to why it's not. I don't know about you guys,
Fair
but
enough.
I mean, especially in like I said, to keep referencing back to Baldur's Gate 3, like if you pick a high charisma character and there's so
unstoppable.
many decks that you just like, you know what? We don't fight this giant battle. We just win.
Yeah, yeah. It's so charisma and dexterity are so broken in 5th edition. Like the incentives to build a strength character are so low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and part of it, like, because someone pointed it out to me, they're like, well, if you played with encumbrance, it would be really helpful.
Okay, nerd, shut up. I was like, ugh. Which that's true. Like I understand the argument, but who's going to pick encumbrance over essentially a built-in cheat code?
Right.
Like I don't think, and maybe this, I don't know what you would do for the bard. I don't think charisma, just to keep the game balanced, I don't think charisma should be a spellcasting modifier.
Mm.
Because as soon as you do that, it's the best. You use charisma to talk and persuade and shopkeep and all, so much more than wisdom or intelligence ever comes up.
Yeah.
And you get powerful spells from it. Like that seems a bit busted.
Yeah. Intelligence is kind of like you're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that is,
intelligence and strength, I think, are the worst stats in the game.
strength is almost always my dump stat.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
100%.
I will say that was one of the few things where in Baldur's Gate it was really nice to have a strength character because then they can be your inventory person. They can be your
Right.
move objects in the environment person.
But that's
And
not me. If I'm playing one character in a D&D campaign, I'm not being the fucking pack mule.
right.
Like, no thanks.
It also affects jump distance in the game. So that's helpful for a lot of the verticality. Like, oh, I'm gonna just jump up there. Like,
Yeah,
but
Especially for
it fits game
characters where
mechanics
like
way better
jump
than
is free.
tabletop.
yeah, but tabletop, like role playing, yeah, I agree that strength doesn't get as much to do because I was a barbarian in one campaign and I felt like all I ever did was like
Shove
push,
and
yeah,
stab.
shove, and attack.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the Warlock. At level 3, you choose your Discordant tone when you select this subclass or roll it randomly using the table. Your tone is associated with a damage type. So this is kind of like, it sounds like your patron, but a little bit different. Well, no, because I guess your patron would be the subclass itself. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself trying to predict what I'm going to read here in a second. So it seems like this one is like an elemental specialist for cold, acid, lightning, or psychic. And at level 3, you get a specified spell off of a table. So that's pretty cool. At level 3, also, you get Invite Discord, which that's interesting.
If you start a server,
Yeah, you start a server, you get a Discord kitten, you inevitably get busted for some kind of degeneracy. And your life falls apart because you're a freak. That's essentially what you get at level 3 with this character. So when you damage an enemy, you can take a reaction to tear a hole in the cosmos.
oh my god,
That seems a bit. That's a lot different than fucking armor. It's like, that's nuts. That sounds way crazier than it has to be. Gaining a benefit based on your discordant tone. So essentially, you get your bonuses in either that cold, acid, lightning, or psychic. And then this reaction You can also take this reaction if another creature reduces an enemy within 10 feet of you. So okay, cool. You can that's neat. If a benefit requires a saving throw, the DC equals your spell save DC. You can take this reaction up to a number of times equal to your blah 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 charisma modifier that you regain on a long or short rest. So entropy. Each creature of your choice within 10 feet triggers a 1d6 cold damage, and its speed. Oh, these are the splits based on your type. So entropy is cold damage. Instinct is a Constitution saving throw, and I did not read that much into entropy. I'm just going to start over. Entropy. Each creature of your choice within 10 feet, so you could target multiple, takes 1d6 cold damage, and its speed is reduced. With instinct, each creature of your choice within 10 feet must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, they take acid damage equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1, and have the poisoned condition. That's pretty cool.
Is the poison condition the same in the new version? I forget.
I think so. For progress, each creature within 10 feet takes 1d8 lightning damage and can't take reactions until the start of your next turn. That one seems pretty good. And then for thrill, each creature of your choice within 10 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the target takes 1d6 psychic damage and must take a reaction to move half of its speed in a direction of your choice.
Off the cliff.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. That could movement stuff gets broken really quick because of how stupid move mechanics are.
Also,
And
burning their reaction can be huge if you're up against like a spellcaster.
that's true. It also gives your teammates an opportunity to run away without taking an opportunity attack.
Yeah.
Here's a list of the special spells that you get based on your level in each class. I won't necessarily read all of these out. I will say that out of all of these, I'm a big fan of the thrill spells. Hideous Laughter and Mirror Image is great. Hypnotic Pattern is fun. Confusion and Mislead are really cool. Second place would be the that's just the cacophony spells, the ones that you just get regardless. I was going to say Phantasmal Force is also one of my favorite spells.
Dimension Door is great too.
Oh, yeah. Dimension Door is really good. At level 6, you get Spread Discord. You get marketing money, basically. It's like you infect other people with your thoughts and ideas. When you deal damage to a creature on your turn, you can cast one of the spells from your spell list, depending on your, whatever you pick, as a bonus action. I like that because you don't have to do it as a reaction. And then you can do that charisma modifier. We all get the gist at this point. But also at level 6, you get Discordant Mark. As a magic action, you can curse a creature you can see within 60 feet. And you basically are marking it with your tongue. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell or be cursed for 1 minute. For the duration, the target must subtract 1d4 from its d20 tests, which are rolls. And it takes 2d8 damage at the start of each of its turns. That's really good.
Oh, so
That's pretty strong.
okay. Yeah.
So that's like Hex on steroids.
I was about to say.
And the damage type matches your tone. So either psychic, lightning, poison, or
sassy.
Yeah. Just a little bit of spunk on it.
I like how it says once a creature fails, you can't use it again. So it's basically like use it until it works.
Well, use it until
Or
it doesn't.
use it till
work.
it doesn't. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, once the creature fails its saving throw against this curse, you can't use this feature again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think Michelle and I interpreted it the same way. You use it and then they make the check every turn, and then once they pass that check, then it's gone for until the next rest.
Oh,
Okay.
I think this is I think what it's saying is that what Austin was saying. You
Yeah,
can
it's-
try it, and if it passes the success, it doesn't use up your attempt.
Yeah, you basically
And
get to
so
use it until they take the full effect. They fail their saving throw.
yeah.
Okay. I might have to send this to my people. Level 10, you gain resistance to a damage type based on your tone. Additionally, when a creature that you can see within 90 feet of yourself damages you, you can take a reaction to cast Hex on the creature without expending a spell slot. That's cool. Once you use this reaction, you can't do so until a long rest. You've got your level 14 Crescendo. You can now tear a rift in the fabric of a galaxy. These spells sound like they would rip apart the universe, and it's like 6 cold damage. So, like,
Very fragile
what?
universe.
What the
It's like
fuck?
it's made of tissue paper.
Yeah. To usher in one of these abilities. Ascension, as a bonus action, you can consume a torrent of energy and transform for 1 minute, gaining the following benefits. Your creature type becomes Fiend. That's cool. You have a +2 bonus to your AC, also cool, and you have immunity to necrotic damage.
And the damage.
Yeah, and the damage associated with your tone, so the ones listed above. When you deal damage, you can change the damage type to necrotic. Dope. And whenever an enemy starts its turn within 30 feet of you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened.
Okay.
You get real scary.
Yeah. Yep. And then the other one is Discordant Invocation. You can cast Summon Discordant, and that has a little star next to it for a note somewhere on here. So we'll get into that, I think, maybe later. Okay, so that's the Warlock. Oh, man. Phew. Excuse me. What do you guys think of the Warlock?
Seems pretty cool. I like
The Discord mod subclass.
Yeah. I can't wait for the kitten subclass.
I get Mesmer vibes from Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. It's all
Okay.
very like mind fuckery kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That's the vibe that I get from it.
I like Warlocks a lot. I don't know if this would be my first pick. I'm saying that not knowing the other ones.
Hexblade's hard to.
Yeah, that's true. Out of the 2 classes that we went over so far, the Ranger and the Warlock, I think I'd pick the Ranger over this one.
I like the hardware one.
You said the hardware one?
The armored one. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Okay,
I feel like
and
that's
then
the one that uses the setting the most prominently.
that's true. And then Summon Discordant is a level 6 conjuration spell. I'll let you guys read this. It's kind of, you're summoning a fiend to fight with, which I like summoning. I really do. If I went down this path, I would absolutely go down the summoning path with it.
What's the translation of GN to gold in terms of like how common that currency is to have 6,000 of?
It's to some 10th power, because some of the things that you buy are like 50,000.
Okay. So like a broken tuning fork worth 6,000 might be relatively cheap.
Maybe, yeah. And then we have a barbarian subclass, the Juggernaut. I don't know, I think in my entire time playing Dungeons & Dragons, I've only played a barbarian one time, and no offense to people that play barbarian, it was very boring to me.
It's my go-to if I have to throw a character together that Like, I know that I could be effective with the barbarian,
Yeah,
and there's nothing complicated about playing a barbarian.
because it's easy
Y-
and it
Yeah.
does a lot of damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a barbarian and thief minor investments because
mm,
with one of the barbarian things I could do was shove as a bonus action, and then that they go prone. Now your melee does advantage.
oh,
So
okay.
basically, it was like turn one or the start of turn shove. Did it work? Okay, great. Sneak attack.
Mm, okay. But even then, that's multi-classing to make the barbarian more enjoyable.
I know, because the base barbarian, I was like, I'm just a tank that hits hard. That's it.
Mm, yeah.
I don't think I've ever played a barbarian because, like, in terms of like the martial classes, I would have more fun with a fighter, with like a battle master fighter.
Yeah, same. I
Because I
always go to fighter over barbarian.
Yeah, because like the battle master mechanics just are way more fun and
Mhm.
adaptable, and they're less like one way, like single track minded than a
Yeah.
barbarian.
I have a
I
really
actually
hard
think,
time playing classes that don't have magic. I almost always go Eldritch Knight
yeah,
if I'm a
that one's
fighter.
a lot of fun. It's in one of our main campaigns. It's one of my longest running characters is an Eldritch Knight.
Nice. I
Uh,
made Captain America as an Eldritch Knight because I attuned to a shield, so I could throw the shield and summon it back to me.
awesome. Yeah, I was the other
Awesome.
thing about Barbarian is that like you're kind of loot starved a little bit because it's like I don't want any of that. Like
Right.
half the stuff that drops is like, okay, armor, I don't want that.
Hmm.
No.
Hmm.
Thing that affects my rage, I don't want that. Like, is it a big, big weapon? Maybe.
Right. Yeah, yeah, maybe. So let's skim through the barbarian. I will hit anything that seems drastically different from 5e. For Rampager, that is the subclass. They get Pulverize, which you do double damage against objects. Which I thought that sounds kind of dumb. But if you get like a really creative setting and you're like stuck in a room or you need to break down a wall or a door, that could be really fun. Especially if you have a DM that does like a lot of timed things. Like you're pursuing somebody and they shut a door in front of you that's locked. This person could break down the door quick enough to keep you in pursuit, you know?
Like it would also
Um,
be one of those things where it's like it would it would be really cool to see someone like truly optimize it. Like, oh man, I throw this thing at them and then I break the object and that does this damage, like I feel like you could maybe get like a really gimmicky build out of it, but yeah, it seems so situational.
yeah, yeah. Now, the thing that made me the most interested at all in the Juggernaut is this rampaging rage. Now, listen closely. When you activate your rage, you can change your size to large if you're in a big enough space. This transformation lasts for the duration of the rage. Okay, neat. But while your rage is active, you can use, listen carefully, a large or smaller object you're holding, or a creature you're grappling as a martial melee weapon.
Oh my god.
You can beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker with with this subclass. That sounds amazing.
Sure is
Um,
something. So that sure is a concept.
so here's the thing: in my book, if I do that and I pick up a man and I swing him at another man, they would both take damage.
Yeah.
So crowd control as a barbarian's good. Um, and the weapon deals 2d6 bludgeoning damage if it's one of the like improvised ones, like a people or an object. Um, if the weapon is a creature, it takes bludgeoning damage equal to your strength modifier plus your rage bonus. So they don't take the full damage of the swing, but at least you're doing residual damage.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool.
I will
Um,
say there was a meme about that once where it's like they were like this can only take damage from like a mithril blade, and the barbarian was like, wait, doesn't the dwarf in the party have a mithril armor? And DM was like, yeah. And he's just like, I grabbed the dwarf and used him
Yeah.
Use him as a mace.
Um,
That's
we've
pretty funny.
got Unstoppable Charge. Once per turn, you can move through an object no larger than a 5-foot cube. So you could just through a door. Shattered Chains. You automatically succeed on D20 tests, which is funny that they're called tests, to avoid or end the restrained condition. So you can't really be tied up. Stand aside, you can move through a hostile creature's space or through difficult terrain. And when you enter the enemy's space, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed. So essentially, you're just charging through. Level 10, Rampaging Leap. When you activate your rage as a bonus action while your rage is active, you can leap up to your speed to an unoccupied space. When you land, each creature in a 10-foot emanation, okay, originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw or take damage. So that's pretty cool too. I'm getting real Incredible Hulk vibes from this.
Yeah.
And then level 14, Explosive Rage. Your rage now bursts out from you in forceful waves. When you activate your rage, and you can take a bonus action to maintain it for another round, you unleash a blast in a 20-foot like ring around you, and each creature must make a Constitution saving throw or take damage. And it's a good amount of damage too. It's 46 force damage.
That's pretty cool. You get surrounded, group them all up.
Yeah. So that to me is like the coolest version of a barbarian I've seen in a long time. It makes them more than just hit one thing.
The one I succeeded with was like it was a totem barbarian. So the idea was is that you
Nice.
like resist all damage except psychic damage. So it was
Right.
really cool on paper. You're like, man, I'm like so much more beefy. But then it's like when your turn comes around, you're like, I attack.
Right. You're just begging
Yeah.
to be
What
hit
else
a
do I
bunch.
do?
The
Yeah.
rampaging leap thing has me interested because it doesn't say that there's a limit to how many you can do. So you can just
Oh
every
yeah.
bonus action or like every turn while your rage is active, you can do another bonus action leap and just like keep landing
Yes.
and just keep like exploding.
It just competes with your other bonus action stuff. So you would
That's
have
true.
to use that instead of another bonus action thing. And almost everything that we've read off is based on your bonus action.
The barbarians don't usually get much bonus action economy though.
Which this is great because it
They
adds more stuff for them to do.
yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else before we move on?
I'm happy with it.
Okay, cool. Up next, after this, that's the last subclass. It ends at level 14, which I also think is very interesting. We have the species, which I know tabletop RPGs across the board are moving away from saying races. If that's something that you're going to get upset for me saying, I don't fucking care. Are we going to sit here and argue whether race or species is more appropriate? Go fuck yourself. Watch somebody else.
How many weird does it one, for
Also, pick your fucking battles. Who gives a shit? Like, that shit drives me nuts.
my only qualm with traditional race mechanics in D&D was that there would be like you'd pick one and it'd be like, oh neat, and it'd be like you have to pick one of these alignments, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that was always weird to me. Yeah.
Like, don't tell me what I have to be, just let me be the thing.
Yes, yeah. Which I do like. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I like when D&D was like, look, it doesn't matter what race, species, whatever you want to call it, you pick, you get 2 in one stat and 1 in another.
Exactly.
I
Just let me build it.
Yes, I do think that they should have kept certain things. Which here's the thing: they're all still listed in the species slash race traits. Just pick whether you want to fucking do it or not. It's like, are we really getting? I don't know. This is coming from somebody who the rules are a recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
I couldn't imagine sitting down at a table and a DM being like, "That's not what the book says." Shut up. Like, I just want to have fun. this sucks.
I like rule, yeah.
Certain rules, the rules that make it the game playable, important. Whether my Goliath can actually speak this language or not based on my backstory, I will never give a shit about. Ever. Ever. You know, do I care about the rule that makes it to where you only do 1d6 damage instead of 10d6 like you want to because you decided to stand on a table? Yeah, that's a good rule. But anything flavor-wise, why does it matter? Just have fun.
I do like the framework. I will say that, like, again, your mileage may vary. Like, for if you're doing a DM that's like, oh man, like everybody having certain unique languages is going to be like a thing that's going to come up in the story. Like,
Right.
that can be because then it's like, oh man, this guy knows is a gnome, and you can speak to him because you're gnomish. And it's like neat.
Yeah, but I'm also not going to look at you and be like, well, you chose human, and your backstory is that you were raised by gnomes. No, I'm still not going to let you speak gnomish. That's not fun. That's not a cool person to play with. Like, all right, so let's get into the species. So the first one that they show is the Globlin, which
With
by the
ears, like
yeah, by the picture is apparently like pop star goblins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Globlin.
Yeah, glow. Apparently it's
Globlin.
Globlin. Humanoid, about 3 to 4 feet tall. Your usual goblin aesthetic. But as the Globlin, you have these special traits: Dazzle. You know the dancing lights cantrip. And then you earn other spells as you level up. Tons of species in Dungeons and Dragons have that. Emotional Spectrum. You have a supernatural affinity for heightening emotions through light. Choose one of the options below, and when you finish a long rest, you can choose a new option. Your chosen option changes your skin, hair, and eye color. As a bonus action for the next minute, you shed bright light in a 10-foot emanation originating from you and dim light for another 10 feet. So you're bipolar. Like every long rest, you set your mood for the day like you read a horoscope. I like that a lot. I feel like that could be very fun and funny. And then each one has a different thing. So blue or teal, you and your allies within the light have resistance to psychic damage and have advantage on saving throws. That's good. For green, you and your allies in the green light regain hit points. So these are actually like really cool. You can build whole ass characters off these. Orange, your speed is increased by 10 feet. When an ally starts their turn within the light for the first time, its speed also increases. Pink or purple, ability checks made to use the influence action on an indifferent creature in the light have advantage. And yellow doubles the range of your shed light. You and your allies in the light have advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Up next, we have the Rezo, which seems, from first impressions, kind of like a tiefling. Also, it's already getting pretty close to 9 o'clock, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. I will take the time to say stay tuned. Next, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, I will be doing a full-length breakdown video of this playtest.
Cool.
So excited for that. But they get Fury of the Tempest. You have proficiency in athletics, intimidation, and survival. They've got Storm Magic, which is Shocking Grasp and like Thunder cantrips and Thunder stuff. You also get Resistance to Lightning. A lot of lightning stuff. It is all lightning themed. We've got what my favorite class is going to be, which is the Saurian, which are motherfucking dinosaurs. So super excited for that. Their humanoid can be 5 to 7 feet tall or small, 3 to 4 feet, based on the type of dinosaur that you pick. So for this one, they actually went in detail enough to where you could pick different species of dinosaurs to get different traits.
Nice.
So we'll just go over those really quick and then move on. So you've got Deep Fin, which is basically any water dinosaur where you get swim speed and you can breathe underwater. There's Quick Claw, which is like a raptor. So they're small, they have bite and claw, and then you get proficiency with like stealth and like small. The advantages of being small and fast. A Rockhide, which is like your Triceratopses or your Ankylosauruses, give you a +1 to your AC, and your max hit points go up by 1 for every level, so it's free AC and hit points. Sharp, yeah, Sharptooth, which is going to be like your T-Rex. Yeah, you only get bite for your natural weapon. You can make a bite attack as a bonus action, and when you hit a creature with a bite, you do extra damage equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain hit points. So you're essentially healing from eating people. And then Skywing, which is like your pterodactyl, so you gain flying speed. But you can't fly while wearing medium or heavy armor, so you're locking yourself into light armor, which you can fly, so that's fine. That's a perfectly balanced thing right there. And then the Solari, which to me, I can't remember what their name is right now, so I'm just going to gloss over it. Why can't Asimar? That's a class, right? It gives me strong them vibes mixed with like a little bit of Sailor Moon here from the picture.
It's the magic girl species.
Which God bless, So when you are a creature you can see within 30 feet of you fails a D20, you could take a reaction to give them heroic inspiration. So this seems like a pretty good support class. You also get the light cantrip for free. So if you don't have dark vision, which we know you have dark vision because you feel obligated to tell us about it, you can help those people. As a bonus action, you can unleash a blaze of solar radiance within 15 feet of you. That's cool. And then you get another ability called Phoenix Rising. Immediately after you succeed or fail on a death saving throw, you can ignore the result and regain hit points equal to your level. So it's basically a free revive every long rest. And you have natural resistance to radiant damage.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. They have quite a few species already. Etheron is how you pronounce it. This seems kind of like the dwarves, but not short. I guess they are short, 4 to 5 feet tall. So this is basically your dwarf. With how much time we have left, I'm going to be glossing over a lot of these because there's more things that I'm excited to get to. The Gorgonite is, for when I read it, kind of like a plant drow. Yeah, Medusa. That'd be a good way to put it. So dark vision. Medusa actually sums it up pretty much perfectly. They literally have petrifying. And then Oozoid, which seems fun, but I feel like the degenerates are going to get a hold of this one quick. Call it my internet intuition. But a lot of freaks are going to be happy real off the rip with this one. But
I'm going to call it they're going to be bards.
yeah. But they do a lot of stuff with being able to mold to the situation. They have acid resistance. They literally have like elastic lung or malleable reach. Like all of their stuff is being able to mold into what they need to at the moment. At the moment, there's only 2 magic items. I'm gonna not go over these right now, just because I don't want to say negligible, like I'm disregarding them, but they're not the focus right now. This might be where I am most excited for this system. This system has actually made me give a shit about vehicles. Like, hey, welcome, robot. Glad to have you. Yes, unfortunately, my microphone took a crap. So this microphone that I use all the time died. I cannot get it to register at all, not even on my soundboard, like showing up even a little bit. So it is kaput. So I am in the market for a new microphone. So that is why the sound is bad. But hey, at least I'm not Austin, where his whole computer took a shit. Catching strays. So vehicles are a mechanic in 5e, but it's horses or carts or boats. It never really comes into any legitimate play. Can you ride a horse well or not is kind of what it boils down to. Have you guys ever been in a campaign where vehicle mechanics actually mattered? I think once for me, and it was a campaign that I ran.
No.
I bought
Exactly.
a book that someone wrote that had like a lot of mounted horse combat mechanics, but I don't think we ever got to it.
Right. Yeah. So with this being outer space, it's a lot of ship combat, and they actually have playmats and like a whole new system for space battles and space combat. So we won't get into everything here, but the fact that there are full scale combats based around vehicles, because you can have full scale combat in like 5e, but it's almost never like charging in on horses. You know what I mean? And even then, the like you're getting jousting or your horse has health and could die. It's never that complicated. But for here, we've got vehicles that go all the way from light, heavy, ground to mech suits to starfighters to capital like gunships.
That's pretty sweet.
So one of the campaigns that I'm imagining is you are literally like a mercenary group that like you could do all kinds of stuff with literally just this. You could make whole ass campaigns based on like starfleets. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited for this. I cannot fucking wait. But they go through some of the mechanics here, and they have examples, but we don't have pictures or like concepts of them yet. So like I can kind of imagine what an air speeder is, you know. But some of these, like, what's their walker gonna be? Like, is it gonna be like Star Wars AT-AT, or is it gonna be more of like an armored core bipedal? Like, what's the range on this? You know. Um, so each ship, and they have some ships underneath here that we're going to go through. So let's just go ahead and hop into this. Gosh, look at that! Isn't that just man? I'm so excited for this. This is going to be my favorite tabletop RPG of all time. So the way that combat works is you're on a grid where you have front, back, left, and right for like flanks and stuff like that. And your attacks are essentially within these cones. I did not support the edition just because I didn't really have the money to get the whole playmat with the ship counters and everything like that. But it's easily recreatable. But yeah, it's a whole like starship combat system. They created a whole additional combat system to the game for vehicles in space combat.
Very, very Eve Online.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm going to go down to the actual vehicles. So we're going to skip a good chunk here.
They've got a few rules about vehicles.
Oh, it's a whole new system. It's a whole brand new system. Okay, cool. So here's some of the starships that they have released. So they've got the Superiority Fighter, which is going to be your standard like warplane or whatever. The crew matters a lot. So like for this one, its crew is 1 or 2, and you get bonuses based on how many people. So you could literally have like a group of 6, right? You've got your captain of like your big cruiser. I don't know. I'm assuming everybody here has seen Cowboy Bebop.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen the first
Okay.
like 4 episodes.
Gotcha. So when it comes to like the crew of the Bebop, right? You've got Jet, who is like not the leader, but he's the captain of like the cargo ship, and then you've got Spike and Faye, who have their own like fighter jet kind of things. You could literally have like a crew that is based around certain strategies in aerial combat. So this first one has a crew of 1 or 2. And it has its own stat block, just like a creature. It's immune to poison, which I think it's funny that they've pointed that out. You cannot poison or do psychic damage to the big hunk of metal. They also have cargo capacities. And depending on how many crew members you have, it unlocks new abilities. You have the Interceptor, which is a crew of 1, and it's going to be like your like real fast, like scout ship almost. Not the best for combat, but it can dodge and outmaneuver really well. This is just a quick reference sheet for like combat, which is cool.
And a dog.
Yeah, and a dog, which is a character from Legends of Antris.
Oh, nice.
And here are some just, I guess, named ships, like the Cavalon Sword, because they have like their own factions and everything as well. So this is like a standard ship for like the military of this faction. Here's one of the mechs, which fuck me, dude. Look how fucking cool this is. Like, this is a full ass Gundam. Like, this is amazing. So this unlocks so many things. Like, if you've got ground, you've got tanks, you've got mechs, you've got like. It seems like they're building something that if you like the sci-fi genre, you can do whatever you want in this system.
Yeah.
Like, flat out. Do you want to make a crazy space Odyssey adventure, like space opera? Go for it. Do you want, like, mech combat, armored core, grimdark reality? Fucking mechs. Like, you can do so much with this system. And then we get a bunch of monsters here at the bottom. So these are kind of like taking over people. I will get much deeper into these on the full length video. I kind of wanted to cover the general vibe and like the most important things. There's fucking time dolphins. All right, there's a block chomper where it looks like they're on some kind of like Minecraft looking world.
Okay.
And then here's like a rules appendix for like general world building type stuff. The last thing I wanted to go over briefly are the weapons. There's not very many weapons listed here, but they say a whole lot. Some of the things I'm going to point out is that there's a huge emphasis on ranged weapons, which I think is why they added a bunch of strength ranged weapons, because it is literally a sci-fi world full of lasers and guns, so you need to give the strength people something for when they can't get in close.
Yeah.
But there are new tags. So we've got finesse, most people know what that is. Light, most people know what that is, where you can dual wield it. Powered and thrown. Powered is a new mechanic where each melee weapon that has the powered ability has essentially like a battery in it. And however strong the battery is, or depending on the weapon's charges, you can expend a use of the battery or the cell to give it a bonus based on what the battery does for that specific weapon. So that is kind of like, so you've got the mastery. They've got them here. They've got Vex, Nick, Push. But the powered also gives it another bonus ability depending on the weapon, which not all of them are listed here. But something to keep in mind for when the full game comes out. You can also see the prices. And a sniper rifle is the most expensive weapon at $7,500. But I think some kind of campaign where you start out from like rags to riches, like you're like a mercenary or like a bounty hunter group that starts out with pretty much nothing, and you're literally building up your organization. Like, how fucking cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty
Until
sweet.
everybody has sniper rifles.
Yes, until everybody has sniper rifles. Because some of these, like for the ships, or maybe it was lower. Maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So yeah, like I said, I mentioned it earlier. The hand cannon is a strength-based ranged weapon, and any of them that say heavy can also use um, strength. So your assault rifle, hand cannon, and laser rifle can all use strength, which I think is good. Oddly enough, not the shotgun, which is kind of funny.
Interesting. I wonder if
Yeah.
it's like there's going to be a second variant of the shotgun that's like a heavier shotgun.
Yeah.
This one's like you know, a
Or
lighter.
no, hang on. Which one is it? No, it's braced. It's only braced. So that was me getting ahead of myself. So the hand cannon is strength. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah.
Okay.
For martial ranged weapons.
I am surprised that shotgun doesn't end up in there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I would have thought the shotgun for sure. Close quarters is cool, which basically means it's a ranged weapon that you don't get a penalty if there's an enemy within 5 feet of you. I like that a lot because you can build whole characters around like a John Wick style of combat.
Yeah.
They did say that there's going to be a lot more weapons. These are just like the playtest weapons. So like, there's only one simple melee weapon. You know, there's definitely going to be more than that. Here's your basic armors. You got light, medium. You have a medium vest and a medium suit, which gives you a different amount of dex. The suit gives you disadvantage on stealth. Then you got heavy armor and shields. So your standard stuff there. Here's the tools that we talked about for the crafting tools, the electronic tools, repair damaged electronics. There you can craft communicators, data chips, data pads, power cells, flashlights. So jack of all trades kind of thing. These are really cool. A lot of these are just going on, I don't want to say tropes, but a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. Like the engineer's tools, you can craft armor modules, like guns, you can get silencers for your weapons, like you can do all kinds of stuff. Musician's instrument, which that's pretty self-explanatory. And then a spiking deck, which is basically like computer hacking. And your adventurer gear, you could, if it wasn't for missing out on the classes, you could pretty much run a game now, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. I will get way more into detail and speculation with my long form video next week, next Wednesday. I'll probably be recording it tomorrow. But I was just so excited I had to talk about this shit today. You can ask Jacob. When it comes to like my aesthetic, like everything I strive for when it comes to like space and like vaporwave and synth, like any 80s Miami Vice cyberpunk, but not the grim cyberpunk, like the Miami Vice future,
like the neon.
Yes,
cyberpunk.
I like the description that you opened with when you were describing this to me, which was the Starlight Brigade, but as
music
a campaign.
Video, but as a campaign, yeah. And to anybody that likes twerp or awesome music or the best music video I've ever seen in my life, check out Starlight Brigade by Twerp. The people that made the animation and advertising video for this campaign also animated Starlight Brigade's music video. So it literally looks like it takes place within the universe of this. So check that out. I think with all that out of the way, do you guys want to get some Project Zomboid in tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. We will be back here in like 2 minutes to hop on some Project Zomboid. So we will be right back. Stay with us, yo. Yep. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's me again. It's your boy. Everything is black and I'm in the void. But that's okay, because it'll be added here in like 3 seconds. So we're just going to go boom, boom, bop, beam, bop. Nope, nope, nope. I messed it up. I messed it up again. Yep, yep. Welcome to my hell. Yep, yep. And it was nothingness. And boom. All right, now we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to be talking some more about some random bullshit and playing another hour or so of Project Zomboid. Thank you for listening to me rant for 2 hours about what my new favorite system is going to be. It is the middle of the night right now. Last time we played, I built some stuff and I failed multiple times to get chickens. because apparently the 3 farms around us did not spawn chickens, which is nuts. I did not, but we are tonight, because as soon as it becomes daytime, I am loading up, and we are going to get some motherfucking chickens. Yep. Which is going to be far away because we're going basically all the way to Echo Creek. Oh my gosh, all these M16s on the pool table. Son of a bitch. I forgot about those. Yeah. What was I doing? I think it was... I'm just going to build some stuff through the night. Because that seems like the easiest thing to do right now. Nice. Do you want to just cook us up a bunch of grub? Because I'm also hungry. Oh. There we go. What doors? Mm. The higher your skill, the more likely you are to actually get materials from it, though. That's really the only thing. $100%. Which we do have carpentry's books 1 through 4. Because I read all of them, and my carpentry is now level 8 just from building a fence and some floors. Oh, the books improve things tenfold. Nice. Just raw dog it. That green, what was it called? The trailer, the green animal trailer, that was by that gas station had 2 pigs in it. So we have 2 pigs now. Mm-hmm. Yep. The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Yeah. That's one of the best movies. I absolutely love that movie. Oh, really? I'm so glad it wasn't that. David Spade. You say Dane Cook? It's like, That's funny. Warburton. Yeah. Fun fact: Tyson just opened for him this last weekend. Yeah. Yeah. He's not even here to hear it. Oh, I have no idea. If I knew he was watching, I would have talked a lot more shit. Okay. Now the question is, hell yeah. I mean, if you're just a sad, lonely guy in a motel, what else are you gonna have? Yeah, we know our clientele. Chickens. Yep, I'm going to eat chickens. Anybody is welcome to come with me if they would like, but they don't have to. Let's see. All right, anything else? I need some food. My character needs to lose weight. I mean, so do I, but right now we're talking about my character. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. You won't be healthy, but you'll lose weight. Let's see here. Yeah, because we really don't have a good selection of food at the moment. No, we haven't. It's part of the reason I want chickens. Here. Yep. You don't get experience. I don't think anybody has any agriculture at all right now. At least I didn't start with any. Is there anybody that wants to do agriculture? I got to be 100% honest. I'm not interested really at all. Okay. Mm, okay. Just because it takes so long, or? Mm, okay. So animal products it is. Um, with how long the drive is, I'm gonna go ahead and head out for the chickens. I don't know if anybody is interested in joining me. You're more than welcome to. You do not have to. I think we only have aiming one. Yeah, if you want to do the carpentry though, then that would be a good one too. I know both of us are carpentry inclined. I just wanted to be able to pick stuff up and it not break. You know what we could do is we could fill in that second floor of the bar. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Just depending on the space. Oh. Hmm. Did he go to the void that I started out in? Hmm. Hello. I think he's gone forever. Yes, we can. You'll have to drive separately. My vehicle only holds 2. I think it'll be okay. The plan is literally just to drive straight to the chicken farm and then drive back with chickens. Which, now that I think about it, there is a bigger animal trailer over at that chicken farm. So I'm going to disconnect our trailer and we're just going to hijack that one and bring it back. Cool. It's all good. I'm taking my Ranger truck. Seats 2. I mean, I can take the Barracuda if you really want to go. Okay. We will completely fuck up Jacob's car. I have no qualms wrecking Jacob's car. Well, you'll never know, will you? I'll just go, oops, and then you'll have no idea. Oh, okay, this holds 2 as well. Never mind. All right. Grabbing Jacob's car. Is it hot wired, or do you have a key? Alrighty. If you bring some extra snacks, I won't complain. Oh, okay. This is going to be dangerous for me to drive. I mean, it is. We're on our way now, so. Well, good luck to your car. No, I'll be nice. I'll set the cruise control and be reasonable. Although there weren't too many cars on the way. Woo! That'd be cool. Can you do that with all vehicles or just the modded cars? Gotcha. After we get done today, I would like to take a look at maybe a modded truck. We haven't seen it. I hear somebody is practicing reloading. Reloading is always a good thing to have. Although once you hit level 5 reloading, at that point you're pretty much good. Yeah. We do have the reloading. Might just be reloading 3, but I know we have a reloading book as well. Oh, okay. Well. Nice. Sure hope there's no family or rabbits in the way. Yeah. It was wild in the early days of Build 42 where it was like, oh, I hit a rabbit, my whole car got blown up. Yeah. If I... Let's see. If I remember correctly, there were quite a few zombies around at the chicken farm, so we should be ready for a fight. That's okay. That's okay. We just hit one zombie. That's not a big deal. Jacob said he'd fix it. So what's the question? Okay, so you don't care. You're just picking a side for the gap to be on. Okay. Easy enough. Cool. Do you get iron pipes from disassembling the wrecked cars? Okay. Because I was going to say there's that whole lot. I don't know if we're wanting to clear out that whole lot or not. But... I wonder if you disassembled fences, if you'd be more likely to get them. Okay, we got to figure out. Oh. That's a good point. Yeah, you probably can't. Yeah. And it's a bigger one, too. So it'll be nice to have a big and a small one. Smart. Okay, we should be approaching the chicken farm soon. What fence did you take apart? Like one of our fences? Oh, okay. Nice. All right, everybody, get ready to hop out pretty quickly. I don't think we will be... No, we're not blasting yet. The main reason we're not blasting is because bullets that miss can hit chickens. Right. Okay. I'm gonna try and drag them out to the side here, not in the main path. Also, you can hit them over the fences pretty reliably if you know what you're doing. Oh. Okay, how many chickens? I'm trying to think of how many chickens we want. I have pretty much mastered the over the fence technique. Yeah, and I'm bitten. All right. All right. Come on. All right. Let's see. Say we need to remember to only grab one rooster. And I'm trying to think how many chickens we want. What? What, a cock? Is that what you want me to say? You want me to say cock? I didn't. It seems too easy. Sometimes. Not often. But okay. Just going to do a quick little... There's still quite a few zombies over here. Come on, climb the fence. Come on. Nice. You guys just going around killing zombies right now? Yeah. Okay. Having this place as a base could be fun. Just the ultimate chicken farmer. digital watch. Ooh. Well, that's like the most unfortunate thing to be broken. Is that fixable? I'm guessing it's locked. It's broken closed. Phew. Okay, that's a good chunk of them taken care of. How many chickens you guys want? I don't see why you couldn't. We have Hutch. I built one. I built 2 of those as well. But we should take probably 2 of the metal ones because they are significantly better and you cannot make them. Because I built the wooden ones. Oh, I haven't even grabbed chickens yet. I'm still killing zombies. No. Just make sure we only grab 1 cock. There you go, Jacob. That was for you. Yes. I know you're used to holding multiple cocks. Yeah, yep. These are all for you. It's like, do you know how to put them in the trailer? When you walk up behind it, you hit V, and there will be an animals option. You hit that, and then there will be a button for add animal. Oh, that's cool. Wood axes are great. It's really all you need anymore. Because you can just keep maintaining it, you know? Okay, I'm doing a quick little jog, and it looks like I've gotten all but 1 of the zombies. We've got a lot of them that are banging on the exterior fence. Oh, yeah. Not yet. What'd you say, Jacob? Yeah. It's similar enough. I just don't want cigarettes. Because those are bad for you. The food being bugged to give you depression if it was frozen sucks. Yeah, but I forget. Yep. Is somebody in the car? You don't. Oh, hang on. Let me. Yeah. Let me back up to the trailer. If you're all. Oh, for me, you were like horizontal with it, or like perpendicular to it. It was like a 90-degree angle. Huh. Oh no, that was. It was very much sideways with it. For sure. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. They're all running around too much. I'm trying to grab the rooster. This one's walking. I like when you pick them up, they panic. It's like, ah! I have. They do. If somebody like 8 times my size picked me up, I would panic as well. Nice. All right, I got the rooster. Can you name another song by that band? I believe that was Alice in Chains. Yeah, I know. It is a song. It's a good song. Cuckoo Kachoo. Don't forget the follow up. Oh yes, grab that. Oh really? Okay, never mind then. They are a pain in the ass to make on a blacksmithing, like crafting. So that's just a. And the buckets that you make through blacksmithing hold 20 liters. I'm getting real tired of these chickens running around. Where are we going with this? What was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we want to do 10? 10 hens? because we gotta feed them. So yeah, let's do 10. That's true. I could. Oh yeah, yep. Grab as many as the trailer will hold. Yeah. We'll pick our favorite 10. Yeah, because whatever butchering books we have, I'm gonna. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've loaded the cell that is the like cow and pig and like that huge mega farm. But eventually we should probably go there too. But we should all drive there in separate vehicles. Oh well, last time we went there they had a bunch of trailers, so oh, there's a little baby chick. I'm not a monster. I'll save you. Your name's gonna be Nugget. What are you trying to hit? No, not unless you have a spear. You can shoot them through the fence. No, that'll attract way too many, unfortunately. On my way. I think you're gone, because I don't see anything. I mean, if you want, grab it. It'll be meat. Oh, what else are you gonna? Damn. What did that chicken do to you? Yep, I was gonna back it up even further. Okay. So many chickens. Glad we got the bigger trailer. If you, any reason you're naked? I mean, I don't care if he's naked. I just don't know why he did it next to me. Okay. I'm saving all the baby chicks. Not like all is in every single one, but if I see it on my screen, I'm saving it. I like them. Which zombie? It's on the outside for me. Oh, can we not add any more chickens? There's still space, but I think we hit max slots because it will not let me add this chicken in my inventory. You okay? Mm. Ah. Oh, that happens. Do you know how far away you are from us? Okay. Well, we can't put any more chickens in. No. No animals have to go in a trailer. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys ready to go? All right. We have successfully gathered so many chickens. Let the slaughter begin. We've definitely got the freezer space, right? I don't know. Mm. It is tempting to get these chickens back and then just keep making trips for chicken. I don't see why we wouldn't, you know? That's just free experience. Not all of them, but there's so many chickens there. Like, we didn't even clear out, like, a sixth of them, I would say. Yeah, well, with chickens, it's easy. All you need is a knife. You don't need a hook or nothing. I just didn't want to bog down everybody's time by killing them there. Yeah. In the blue locker on the left in my shack. Axe. Is this the zombie movie moment where we find out your bit? Are you over encumbered? Oh, that was your previous character that died, though. I think you're completely misremembering this. Yes. Ah, the long drives at Project Zomboid. Yeah. Stuff and things, yeah. I do think driving should be a skill in this game. I think it would be really cool if you got better gas mileage or better something for leveling up driving. No, 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 no. Nope, 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 nope. No, no. I can. Just, just shut up. Just. It was one bunny rabbit, and it was his fault for being the slowest. Yeah, I should have picked him up. Ugh. No. No, I'm building my extended shed that is going to have additional storage, and that's where all that's going to go. Oh, yeah, that works. Just because there's 3 crates outside, right? Okay. It probably was. Trapping is way harder to do now because the best way to do trapping was to grow lettuce or to grow like cabbage. But now you can't effectively. That's true. Yeah. Nice. We need to clear out this interstate here. Chop, chop, welder boy. Yeah. I thought you had a ton of propane. Do you just want to use those last 2 propane tanks to clear out that intersection? Because that's probably going to be the intersection we use the most. Which, that's fine. That's better than nothing. That's true. I'm going to be... Ooh. Do you guys know the history of the guy, George Foreman? Yeah. And the grill mogul? Yeah, his whole history is absolutely nuts. I don't know that part. Jacob, I pulled your vehicle up on both sides to try and fuel it up, and neither side worked. Yep, I'm gonna let you be weird about it. So I'm bringing it back on a very low tank of gas. Okay, there's no good way to pull this vehicle around. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to walk the chickens back. Alright. I brought your vehicle back and I didn't hit anything. Completely missed everything. Okay, but it is 10 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. I'm very tired. I think we're just going to wrap up some odds and ends here, nothing too exciting, and head to bed. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I will be getting more in-depth with that Neon Odyssey in my video this next Wednesday. And are you guys free Thursday? Okay, I got you. Well, I will be live Thursday to play something with Jacob. So thank you all and have a wonderful night. We will catch you in the next live stream every Monday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, everybody.